this is becoming more common. I'm seeing the reports out of New York. I don't know if it's happened here yet or in other parts of the country, but restaurants that are putting a time limit on your table.
Ooh.
So going in, they're telling you up to top. So in restaurant business lingo, they refer to like two people at a table, a table for two people. They call it a two-top. A table for four, it's a four-top, six-top, etc. So what's going on now is more and more restaurants are telling the diner before they even like sit down or when they make the reservation that the clock is ticking. Once you sit down, you've got an hour and a half.
Is that how long it is?
Well, it's varying. It depends on the number of people.
I was trying to think, how long am I at a restaurant that I'm not loitering in? I mean, Roxanne, she'll go to a restaurant and sit there for a day.
Hey, Roxanne and her friends, they went to Olivia,
right?
Which Olivia is fantastic. It's in South Tampa, great Italian. It's Chef Chris Pont, and Olivia's at Swan and Henderson in South Tampa. It's the old Carmel Cafe location. And Roxanne, she and her friends went there, and they went for lunch.
6 hours.
And it was like they needed the table for dinner service.
They got hungry again.
They got
there so long.
Hold on. They got there at like noon, and it's like they're still there at 6 p.m. It's like, my God, you could have flown from New York to London. My God.
All right, so what's a reasonable, respectable amount of time for a dinner? Is 2 hours enough?
Well, here's what's going on, is that restaurants are getting kind of pushy, and we're getting tons of reports out of New York on this, and I got a list of restaurants that they're telling people that, hey, you got a table, but you got 90 minutes. 90 minutes, a table for two, 90 minutes, that's all you get. And then with some larger tables, for instance, you'll get a little longer. So table for two, 90-minute limit. And I saw a story about this. I've seen some postings about this, and some customers, some patrons are angry. Really? They're going to put like sands through the hourglass. Finish your damn food and get out. I mean, that's what it's like over here.
I mean, if you're going to go to a restaurant and they're going to put a time limit on you, I think I'm naturally inclined to spend less money while I'm there.
Yeah, here's an example. Mariel Rivera Hauk, 35 years old. She's in advertising in Manhattan, and she recently went with a party of 8 to Quality Italian. I've been to Quality Italian. I've been to Quality Meats. Somebody said there was a good Italian place up in your neck of the woods called Quality Foods Market.
Yeah, it's on Florida. It's like it's on 41 North.
Yeah, so it's up there in Lutz, right? Yeah. Have you been there?
Yeah, it's a wine market and
but it's a restaurant.
And it's a great pizzeria and an Italian place in the back.
Italian dishes, right?
Yeah.
And someone said it's really
very
good.
Very good pizza.
Someone says I've got to try it. A Quality Italian Market, is that it?
Yes.
So you've been there?
I've been there 4 or 5 times.
All right. So you recommend it?
I do.
Okay. So, and that's up in, was it on off of 41?
It's on Florida Avenue before the Apex.
So before the Publix that sold the Powerball ticket that you
yes.
you feel is very unlucky now.
Yes.
Because you didn't win.
That's the one.
And then, so here are some other examples. So parties are 2, 90 minutes. Parties up to 6 have 2 hours. And if you've got a party over 6, you get 2.5 hours. So there's a sliding scale on the number of people. I guess it's based on the check and how much you're spending.
Also, how much time it takes to prepare that food and to bring that food out and to clear the plates. And
I think it's a little bit obnoxious to, say, hey, yep, you've got an hour and a half. Clock is ticking. Tick, 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 tick.
Down those drinks fast.
What? Down those drinks.
Andrew, that's the point. If I know that I have 90 minutes at a restaurant, I'm not ordering extra drinks. I'm not ordering an appetizer.
What's next? They're going to get like ejector seats? What was that old MTV show where like the
Remote
whole
control.
Yeah, the
Remote control.
Remote control. Your seat was jammed into the wall, and like threw you down a shooter's.
Yeah, but if I have 90 minutes, I'm not getting an appetizer. You bring out the main course menu. You know, I'm probably not going to get a dessert. We're probably not going to get this couple of drinks we might get.
Just out of curiosity, let's go to phones on this. Have you been to a restaurant locally? Have you had any experience, maybe even out of town? Has any restaurant given you a time limit? Has any restaurant, when you sat down or when you made the reservation, you have X number of minutes or X amount of time, or have you been seated at a restaurant where they said, nope, we need this table. The clock starts now, 1 hour and 30 minutes. Boom. If you've experienced this anywhere, I'm just curious. 800-990-1047. 800-990-1047. Now, listen, I can also understand from the restaurant's perspective that they want to turn the table.
I mean, how many times do you go to a restaurant and you see people who are done with their meal, just kind of loitering there, just jibber-jabbering?
Just
like,
yak. Well,
Move it
listen,
on.
and listen, in all fairness, I have been on the waiting end where we had a reservation, and that table is the one they're going to use for us, and we have to wait for that table to clear. And like you said, they're just yak.
They know.
Yeah, the check's on the table. They filled that thing out 37 minutes ago.
They know when they're the table that everybody's waiting for the get up.
All right, 800-990-1047. 800-990-1047. Just curious if you've ever had the timer slapped on you, because apparently it's becoming quite prevalent up in New York, up in Manhattan at this point. So just out of curiosity, I'll bring up the screener.
All right, there you go.
And then there's another restaurant item that I'll get to, and like customers are getting fed up with this, and also some of the restaurants are getting fed up. And this is due to something that people do at the restaurant. I'll explain that one. That's a whole different story. We'll get to that in a second. Hey, Wendy is in St. Petersburg. Wendy, you're on the MJ Morning Show. Hi. Wendy, welcome.
I have never had, a time limit like that, except for when you have a reservation somewhere and you're a little bit late and they say they don't know if they have time to serve you because the next person's coming up.
Now, wait a sec. Wendy, how freaking late were you?
Maybe like 10, 15 minutes. But let's say like I was a server for several years when I was younger, and when people would sit and talk for hours and hours, it really was kind of hard on the server watching other people's tables turn over and over and over, getting tips.
Yep.
And you've got someone who basically wanted to get suitcases and move in.
Was that the terminology you used? Listen, they've got their suitcases. They're moving in. They're squatting at my table.
Right, and you're just thinking about all the tips you can't make because they're not going to move their conversation outside.
Yeah, they're not turning the table, so you can't put new people in there. Because what, restaurants like to turn tables like minimum of 2 times a night, but I think they try for 3 times a night. Depending on the establishment and what kind of place it is. Wendy, thanks for the call. I appreciate it. Dawn is in Tampa. Hey, Dawn, MJ Morning Show, you're up.
Hey, good morning. Thanks. I was just recently, this happened in Tampa on prom night for my teenage daughter and her group of friends. We had a reservation well in advance, like 6 o'clock, 6 p.m. We showed up and they sat them like in the sun outside at this low, like not even a dining table. And so I went in and said something and was like, hey, these kids have a reservation. They've got a big night. They're all in formal gowns and stuff. And so they said,
they put them out in the parking lot?
Yeah, I mean, they literally had them like out on the deck, like in the sun. It
Right.
was really bad. So they moved them inside, but they said they have to be done by 8 o'clock. And I mean, it's 10 kids. It's a nice night out. The time limit I think doesn't make any sense if you're talking about people there spending money and wanting to enjoy themselves.
Gotcha. Hey, thanks, Dawn. Appreciate you listening. Laura in St. Pete. Hey, Laura, MJ Morning Show, you're up.
Hey, MJ. I'm actually calling about a restaurant in Ipswich, Mass.
Yep.
That's very well known for the clams and all the rest of it. So this has been going on for years up there because there's not a lot of really good restaurants in that town. It's very small. The restaurant is incredible. It's called the Hart House, the 1640 Hart House. And
It's called Hart House?
the H-A-R-T, the Hart House.
So I haven't been there. So, I'm a huge whole belly fried clam fan.
I know. I've heard you talking about the Clam Shack, all the rest of it.
So, Bob's Clam Hut up in Kittery, Maine, but in Mass, in Essex, I love the Clam Box, and then you've got
Woodman's.
You got Woodman's and JT. I'll tell you what, I'm a huge JT Farms fan.
Yeah, okay, so that's where I go for the lobster. So I spend half my time in Ipswich. I'll be up there this weekend.
Yep.
Just want to let you know, I listen to you while I'm up there.
That's the way to do it.
As you should.
Absolutely.
Money for nothing, chicks for free.
I do. Yep.
That's the way
long-time
you do
listener.
it. Yeah, go ahead.
But with the Hart House, it's just there's so few restaurants up there that they can get away with it, and their customer service is horrible. I mean, we laugh about just how ornery these waitresses are.
Right.
They're as old and crusty as town itself is. And so, but the food...
You're like a dried up clam stuck in the bottom of the fryer.
Absolutely. And they pour a really mean drink in there. So, we just put up with it.
Right.
And we go. So, but take Michelle there. I've been listening to you guys when you were planning your wedding. And even my mom, who's like going to be 90, we went out and got her a radio, put it in her retirement facility just so they could listen to you in the morning.
Oh my God,
so happy you're back.
That's incredible. Thank you so much.
Yeah.
Have a great.
No, I've been meaning to write you a letter. So glad I got in this morning just to tell you myself that.
Anyone can drop me an email anytime. It's my private email, mj@mjmorningshow.com.
I'll do that. You guys have a great day.
You too. Have a great one. Phones have blown up on this. Let's grab Carmela. Carmela Soprano calling from northern Jersey. Hello, Carmela. You're on the MJ Morning Show.
Hey, MJ. Good morning.
Hey.
How are you?
Yeah, good. How's Tony?
He's good.
All right. Excellent.
He sends his love. He always tells me to tell you hello.
Excellent.
All right. Thank you, Carmen.
Hey, so I haven't been told to ever leave, but I kind of wanted to piggyback off what the previous caller, Wendy, said. I think that when the servers come around and they say, okay, well, my shift's ending, I'd like to go ahead and close you out. I'm wondering how many restaurants use that as a tactic just to kind of nudge the customer to hurry up and pay and leave. That's happened to me a couple times, but, because you get to that point. I mean, has that ever happened to you? You get to that point and you're like, oh, well, have we been here too long?
There comes a point where you do
another tab with the new server?
Yeah, listen, there comes a time where you do overstep and you overstay, and you got to know when that is. Have a nice, relaxed dinner, and then you vacate.
Oh.
But, there are times where people just linger and linger and linger, and you got people waiting for the table. The reservation was already booked. You're past that point. You got people, out at the bar waiting. You got people in the lobby that are waiting. So, hey, thanks for the call. Appreciate it, Carmela. Emily is at USF. Emily, you're on the MJ Morning Show. Hi.
Hi. Yes. So our restaurant's actually in Tampa. It was the first time we went there. It's Haiku. It's on the corner. It's like a sushi fusion place.
Right.
Okay. So setting the scene, we are two couples of parents, right? So we have like 5 kids between us, and we are going out. And it's a big deal, right? We're like getting away from our children and we're going out. We show up at the restaurant, and the hostess looks at me and says, there's an hour limit to your dinner. And my cousin and I looked at us and we're like, are you kidding?
Well, hi.
Okay, all right. Listen, I understand you were very upset, but
you can't
be that upset.
Yeah, we're on the radio. You can't drop the F-bomb.
Yeah, okay, let's.
No.
All right.
You just said, "Are you effing kidding?" You can't say that.
So, needless to say, you didn't stay.
My typical policy is that once you drop the F-bomb, I dump.
You're out.
I dump your call. I did dump your word, although it lives on MJTV. It'll live on the podcast, but I did cut it off
What are
of
you,
the.
making sure he's awake this morning?
I did cut it off of the FCC regulated 104.7 FM. All right, can you keep it clean?
I don't know. I don't trust
I'll
her.
keep it clean. I'm sorry.
All right.
I'm heated. It's heated.
I can tell. I can tell
really?
you're heated. Yes.
It was an hour that we had to leave. So just like Faster was saying earlier, I'm not going to order an appetizer. I'm not going to order a drink. We didn't even want to stay. We're like, well, now we've had our reservation. It's Friday night. Where else are we going to go? So we stayed, but we ordered everything at one time.
Yeah,
So
I mean,
it was-
an hour that's a little rough.
Everything.
Yeah. Emily, thanks for the call.
No problem.
Emily, the F-bomb dropper. Look at the phones on this. Justin is in Tampa. If you're tuning in, we're just talking about how this is becoming more commonplace, that restaurants are telling people when you go to the restaurant, they seat you, you got an hour and a half time limit. You have 2 hours. And it's happening more and more, happening a lot up in New York City, up in Manhattan. Let's grab Justin. Justin, you're up on the MJ Morning Show. Hello.
Hey, MJ, how you doing?
Doing well. Go ahead.
So this is over in Celebration. It was during a special event. They had a sign on the table that said, after 2 hours, you'll be charged $50 an hour.
What? There's a rental fee for the table?
Listen, if you're there for 2 hours, you kind of got to move it along. I get it, especially if there's something special going on in town.
Some celebration, that is.
Some celebration to celebrate. What was the big event? What was the thing going on in town that they had to hustle people out?
It was the annual Moonies convention.
Oh, so big. So big.
That was the Celebration Exotic Car Festival.
Oh, the Exotic Car Festival.
Wow. All right, Justin, thanks.
Thanks, Justin.
Stacy in Spring Hill. Stacy, MJ Morning Show, you're up.
Hi, MJ. I listen to you every single morning. I am a server. I've been a server forever. I work up here in Spring Hill at a sports bar. That's stupid to limit, someone's time or anything, but you also got to think at the server's side. Sometimes they only have a 3-table section, and that table, they do rely on that table flipping to make their money. But however, to rush a table out, it's like the previous caller said, you don't order appetizers, you don't order drinks, so you're really not going to make money on that table anyway. So, that's kind of to put a time limit on people eating, but you do got to remember, you can overstay your welcome also.
Yeah, Stacy, it's also a different kind of restaurant. You work in a sports bar, you said. If I go to your place to watch the Rays play, it's a 3-hour game. I'm going to be there for almost 3 hours. I'm only going to order one meal, a couple of drinks.
Listen, I fully agree. You got to know when it's time to go. Know when to hold them, know when to fold them, know when to walk away, know when to run.
Know when to run. The best advice
on Sunday, we have people that come in and they literally come in at 12 o'clock and they're there till 4 o'clock, and then the new group switches over. It's different for the sports games and stuff like that. We have people that come in and order drinks and have meetings, and they just order drinks.
Thanks for the call. Appreciate it. Look at this. Cinnamon. I've got Cinnamon and Bradenton on the line. Hey, Cinnamon, you're on the MJ Morning Show. Hello.
Hey, so here's what I have to say. Every single server that's ever relied on tips knows exactly where I'm coming from. Get the fuck out.
All right,
Jeez,
we got to stop this
what is
segment.
going
Just
on
stop
with
the whole Cinnamon.
What?
Cinnamon, stop it.
Two female F-bombs. All right,
So the unwritten rule of the morning show is we like female callers because they tend to curse less. We never really talk about it, but that's the truth.
She just said, get the F out.
What the hell's happening this morning?
Cinnamon, you can't use it. We're on the air.
The whole show's gone off the rails.
Oh, sorry.
Sorry.
Sorry,
Cinnamon. Is Cinnamon even your real name?
All right, Cinnamon.
Yeah, of course.
All right, Cinnamon, don't curse again, okay?
Okay, I'm sorry.
Cinnamon.
All right, so 2 F-bombs now on MJTV on the replay, and then 2 F-bombs in the podcast.
How many Cinnamons could there possibly be in Bradenton? Everybody knows it's you. Come on, Cinnamon.
Except for me.
Cinnamon, how old are you, Cinnamon?
37, and I used to bartend in Las Vegas. I was also a server in Las Vegas.
Were you a dancer in Las Vegas with a name like Cinnamon?
No.
Is Cinnamon is it your real name?
I think that's the wrong thing to do.
Yeah,
of course it is.
It is. Okay.
Yeah,
no.
she said yes.
Yeah. No.
Ask both of my ex-husbands.
Ask both of your ex.
They write the
Cinnamon,
checks every month.
Thanks for the call. All right.
My God.
One last
crazy.
call. Thomas is in Dallas, Texas. Thomas, you're on the MJ Morning Show. Hi.
Keep it clean, please, Thomas.
Oh, trust me, I will. MJ and Fester. I've been listening to your show since I was 15 years old. I really love you guys. So I don't know if you remember a couple weeks ago, my husband called in about he serves over at DFW Airport.
Yeah, I remember that.
Oh, yeah, he was a bartender, right?
That is correct.
Yep.
And, there's times where, the tables are full and, passengers are just sitting there, so they don't get an opportunity to turn everything around so that, they can, clear the tables.
Yeah, at the airport, I think people consider it to be like the gate waiting lounge, in the restaurant.
I'd rather wait at a restaurant than at the gate.
Yeah.
Yeah. So that happens a lot. And, like I said, you have your good days and your bad days, but he works really hard over there at the airport. And you had asked a couple weeks ago why he was calling and stuff like that. I've been a resident of St. Petersburg since I was a teenager. And we moved out here to Dallas but anyways, just wanted to say thank you and really enjoy the show.
Well, Thomas, thanks for the call. We appreciate it.
Thanks for calling, Thomas.